SimTheWorld here. We are back with Car Mechanic Simulator 2018. So today we've got a giant truck in the shop. It doesn't look too bad from the outside. Actually, not too terrible in the inside either. Got some transmission work here. Let's see what the customer says. Hello, my SUV is great on the road, but I feel like I shouldn't abuse it off-road. So I've saved up a little bit and got something special from a friend of mine. That thing should be well suited for some crazy off-roading. I hope you can really push it just like the previous owner did. See what needs to be fixed and change that awful interior. Interesting. So I don't think interior actually happens in these jobs. I could be wrong here, but I don't think you can really change that, especially in this SUV. Definitely think this is a truck, but let's go ahead and we've got some stuff. We've got suspension components, we got some brakes, seeing some transmission and engine. So this is really going to be an all-encompassed job. What I want to do is start off by doing some testing, and let's see what I can find. So I've gone through all of the examining tools, and it looks like the most that's really wrong is the spark plugs and coils need to be replaced. Fuel rails. We can get these covers off. I think the engine heads need replaced just from how rusted they are. So in fact, let's go ahead and just do that now. I think we can get to all this. Yeah, some of those spark plugs were fine, but as with previous jobs, I'm going to try to take care of everything. Oh, you know what? I'm going to have to take all the accessories off the front, aren't I? In order to get these heads off. That is a little annoying. Ugh. Why don't I do that? I'll get it up over on the lifter too, instead of just trying to tackle this all on the floor. I'll meet you guys back here as we can start repairing. And I'm here taking off the last engine head. So that was most of it. Luckily, everything inside the block is alright. Nothing we need to change there. The rings, the pistons were all good. I guess it doesn't test if, like, the rod cap or anything of that isn't great, but I've never had an issue of that. That would be a terrible surprise to get through all this work just to find something in the block needed replaced that it didn't pop up with, but that, again, they don't screw you that hard. So let's continue. Most of this is just going to be reassembly work. I did get all new spark plugs and coils. There's no point in worrying too much about that. Let's see here. Yeah, we'll get the exhaust manifold back on. All the brake components look like they need to be replaced. I need to pick up the brake servo here in a few seconds. But once this is back together... Ooh, I had a new one of those. I don't think you needed to replace that, but that could have been from another job. I'm just going to let it fly because I can repair the one we took out of his car. We'll still get life out of that. Into the other side. It's going to... I'm interested why they refer to this as an SUV. That is not... This definitely looks like a pickup truck, so... Not sure if that's a European thing. It's definitely here in the good old US of A. It's a giant-ass pickup truck. And I'm sure they're still taking this off-roading and mudding. That's half the fun of it. But I'm going to keep rolling with this. We got most of the parts. It's just some tedious work. I do want to and get the rest of this diagnosed. I know there's going to be a lot of brake, a lot of suspension parts. And I gotta reassemble all the accessories. Let's take a look here. Yeah, we're not even halfway through identifying parts. Oh, there's like a big chunk right here. I'm getting spooked. I really hope we didn't miss something. With the engine completed, let's get this up on the lifter. I do need to drain the oil, so come over here, we can grab the oil pan. At least most people are trying to keep that up to date. Make sure they're going through and replacing that every so often. Just the rest of the parts they're not so good about. Let's go ahead. I'm pretty sure most of these brake components we're going to need to replace. Yeah, the front drive axle is no good. It looks like the knuckle is no good either, so this is going to be a complete teardown of the front suspension, which is a little unfortunate. But sometimes it's just how it goes. No easy jobs here. But I think I've got most of the parts, so let's go ahead and actually take care of this while we can. Do this right the first time. Jump over to the other side. Yeah, the tires are good, and it looks like the rims are good too, so nothing to worry about there. Pop that oil filter off. We'll get to that in just a second. There we go. The bushings all look fine. That is kind of nice. Don't have to hunt those down. But I haven't really checked the rear of the car either too much yet, so anything can happen. Not out of the woods yet. Have you guys seen the new trailer for Car Mechanic Simulator 2021 yet? I'm pretty interested in that. Be sure to let me know what you guys are looking forward to in that. I know this game has been out. It released in like the summer of 2017. So this game has been out for quite a while at this point. And a refreshed title is going to be a lot of fun. I'm definitely going to be jumping on that series as soon as it drops. The only thing I hope is that they learned from 2018 and they're not going to rush a release. That was kind of unfortunate. I remember the day the game came out, I ended up taking off the day for work, so I could play it all day on release. Of course, it got delayed on the release date. It was until the evening, I think. It is something where I couldn't. There's no reason for me of taking the day off. And then there's so many bugs when I did play it. It was a little unfortunate. I'd rather it just being pushed back. You know, give yourself a few extra weeks. Don't pull a Cyberpunk and, you know, drop a unfinished game on us. Alright, so we are getting pretty close here. This is going to be the front suspension. That's one side of it done, too. Not too bad. Actually, let's go ahead and take a look at the transmission. Get some of this apart. Because we gotta hunt down some of these missing components. We do need to replace the drive shaft. That is good to know. I don't think I have an extra one, but we might be able to repair that. Actually, a lot of these parts we should be able to repair. And the pressure plate's no good. The flywheel actually looks fine. We'll pull it off. Yeah, both of these. We'll pull them off to confirm. Sometimes they're a little sneaky. But that looks good. Get the put a new one on, I guess. And it'll get the rest of the components now real quick. And a drive shaft. Perfect. Gearbox back on. I'll probably repair the other one and just flip it. We'll get our money back. That is something I want to see change in the new title, is a better economy system where money actually matters. Obviously, if you pull an old part out, repair it, you're not going to get the full price for it, even if it's completely fixed. And I don't know how I feel about repairing to 100% anyhow. I almost think it should be, you know, repair it to 80%, or repair it to something that's not all the way through. That way, you can't just get a 100% car out of the junkyard because you take it to the workbench. But on some of these jobs, you don't have to repair to, you know, maybe the order only needs you to take it to 75% fixed. And in that case, that would work well. I think that's kind of the idea with the normal orders when you're playing through the game. Not the story orders. Story orders, these have to be repaired to 100% if there's something wrong. But if you're taking the randomly spawned orders, those you can repair to a certain percentage. They tell you in the description. That's really where the repair bench comes in handy. You can save a lot of money that way. Alright, so that should take care of the front end. We're not going to put the drive shaft in because I think this rear axle needs out too. See how we're doing. So we got some back stuff. There's still quite a bit here. Let's see if I can't rip off this back axle and figure out the rest of what needs to go. I've taken care of replacing everything, at least on the one side. That way we can just replace everything here. I did find all the leaf spring suspension parts needed replaced. I think the only thing that was still good was the wheel hub, which is pretty funny. Just the just a little flimsy piece of metal protect the inside transmission components. Yeah, the wheel hub was fine, 68%. Everything else was trash. So let's get this reassembled, and we should be good to go, hopefully. I haven't checked the list of what we need to get done. I'm just sitting here crossing my fingers that I found everything. Yeah, let's pop this tire on, and we'll see how good we are. I do need to put oil in, so we aren't completely done yet. Let's see, I'll go through it a little bit slow just to make sure if you guys are playing along, looking for any of these missing components. It does look like we found them all, so that's good. We just need to get the oil in. Let's do that real quick, and we'll send this truck on its way. There's a lot of work. Like, there's a little bit of everything. But boy, I'll tell you what, if I don't have to pull the engine out, if I don't have to touch the pistons, it feels like a quick job still. Like, this took we replaced all of the suspension, all of the brakes, most of the transmission, but it still didn't feel as bad. Of course, I was not paying attention. Oops. Alright, so we are done. I don't think we get penalized for spilling the oil. That'll burn off eventually. So, he's good to go. Let's finish that order. And with that, that should wrap up today. So thanks for watching as I simulate my life one game at a time. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss any of the future action. You can follow on Twitter for updates to future games being played, as well as follow on Twitch as I try to stream 3 days a week. Thanks, and I'll see you next time at SimTheWorld.